Hello everyone, Big Seven here, back for another SuperCoach BBL update. This week I only scored 344 points. It was a really low scoring week across the board with a number of the popular players really underperforming. And that coupled with the Brisbane Heats and Sydney Sixers game getting washed out for the most part, that meant that there were only really 3.5 games or even three and a bit games to score from. And in those games, it was really the lesser lights that performed well this week. Players like Tom Rogers and Majib from the Renegades, who I have had in my side at some point, but they have been traded since to accommodate doubles. And then Ben McDermott and Caleb Jewell from the Hurricanes did well last round as well. But Caleb Jewell, not someone that would be owned. Ben McDermott, maybe people would have got him a little bit earlier. So I'll go through the team pretty quickly. In terms of scoring last week, I did a good thing and I captained my highest scoring player, which was Jai Richardson with a 47. Unfortunately, it looks like he's done a hamstring or some kind of hamstring soreness in the last over of the Perth Scorchers bowling innings. So he's someone that I think has to be traded. As you can see, I've benched all of my Sixers players last week because I was unsure about the threat of rain. That ended up being a wise decision. I ended up getting a 6 from Hatsoglu instead of a 2 from Abbott. Although I could have fielded Philippi over Bancroft, but I mean, really, everyone scored low this week. I mean, just one of those weeks. Shouldn't lose too much ground. Shouldn't gain too much ground. I think I was about 1,500. I won't bother going back to that. And so, in terms of trades, still the trade strategy is just to go hard for the doubles. This week I've got the Sixers and Hobart as the teams with the double. I'm just going to optimize using this beautiful feature. So, looking at this, and Jai Richardson is someone that definitely needs to be traded. Matt Gilks, he's the only other player in this side that doesn't have a double in the next 2 weeks, so I'm going to be offloading him. The break-even's at 35 as well, so and he could make a little bit more cash, but I'm really happy that I held him instead of trading him. Started the season at 90-ish K, went down to 60-ish K after underperforming in the doubles, and then has since found a bit of form. So I'm getting rid of him, getting rid of Richardson, and then the other player I was planning on getting rid of was Hatsoglu. I was going to potentially turn him into a Tom Rogers from the Stars. But with Shadab Khan being out, I decided to use my other trade on trading Shadab to Matthew Wade. And although Wade didn't score that well. I mean, really, no one else did. I could have got McDermott, but I said last video I had a number of doubts around him regarding form and injury. And it looks like he's ticked off both of those boxes. So he had a good innings last week, and he's about 120-ish K cheaper than what he was at the start of the year. I've got Matty Gilks. It's time for him to go. And McDermott also has, two good matchups. Adelaide, their bowling attack isn't what it used to be. Adelaide Oval can be high scoring. And then he's got his Ducks in the Renegades. He has a massive average against them, multiple hundreds against the Renegades. For me, a very clear vice captain option. And then the other player I need to get rid of is Richardson, obviously with a hamstring. I haven't had a ton of news about it, but I'm not willing to risk holding him for a week and then the injury is worse than reported. And Jai does have a history of injury issues. I think they'll be on the cautious side. And they've also got a decent enough bowling attack to survive without him. They've still got Ty, they've still got Berendorf. Kelly's not bad either. I think Hardy didn't play last week, but should be back in the mix soon. I think that was just a quad niggle. So I'm getting rid of him. The player I'm getting in is Matt Short. And he's someone I'm looking more towards next week. I think he's a must-have for that, opening at the top of the order. And the strikers, I don't think Rashid Khan's going to play that game either, so they're going to be missing Rashid Khan. Peter Siddle's missing a couple of games as well. So their bowling attack's pretty light. Short could potentially get 4 overs and bat at the top of the order. So I know he has a high break even, but I'm more interested in points rather than cash at this stage. So I'm just going to confirm those and show what the starting lineup will look like. So they'll have McDermott as the vice captain. I will loophole Stoinis in the bowlers and Clark in the batters. Captaincy, vice captain's pretty simple. Not Sean McDermott, Ben McDermott. Just with those the 2 good matchups, and then the other player I'm tossing up between Abbott and Kerr. Kerr has been scoring more recently. He does seem to be bowling a bit more death than Abbott. Also in the recent game, Kerr bowled 3 overs, Abbott bowled 2. I think Kerr is the form bowler, and also Abbott's burnt me a bit this year. Maybe he gets rested again or something like that. So I think at this stage I'm going to go with Kerr. But honestly, if McDermott goes, I don't know, somewhere above 35, 40, then I'm just going to take his game and roll it into the Renegades game. That being at Marvel should be really high scoring for batsmen. McDermott loves the ground. He loves the team. I'm probably taking McDermott unless he has a really poor score in the first game. And so this is a team. It has 8 doubles in it. So 8 doubles with Ty, Inglis, and Short. And then I've also got Stoinis and Joe Clark. So I do have one loophole here that I can use. So if Clark was to score well, then I could bench Inglis for Conley. And I guess I still have one more trade as well. And so I think the weak link is Hadsoglu. I haven't decided. He's going to be the trade out, but I haven't decided who I'm going to trade him to. And preferably it's going to be someone from the Stars, Adelaide, or Perth. And I've already got pretty much every Perth player, apart from Berendorf. So it won't be the strikers, actually, because they'll be locked out early. Stars. I could get Adam Zampa, I guess. Lock that in early and don't bother with the loophole in the bowler line. I guess that's one of my options. Could also see who Perth bring in. And there aren't any bowlers I can afford. Batsmen, there aren't any good batsmen I can afford. What about Adelaide? Chris Lynn's out of price range. And I am interested in seeing how the strikers bowling lines up. Because I think I'm going to want Henry Thornton for the double, but other than that, and Siddle missing a couple of games, opens and Rashid going out. I think it's after this game. That should open up some opportunities. Ben Menenti potentially 72k. I think he will be the only fit spinner as well, with the exception of Matt Short. So could go for Ben Menenti. I think Harry Conway as well. Sorry. Harry Conway, I guess he would be the third bowler, but I think Siddle's only missing a couple of games. So if that's only one game of the double, then Conway could play the first game and then Siddle play the second game. So it's probably between Menenti and Zampa in for me. It would be nice to be able to afford someone a bit better, but I think Zampa is good enough to pick. So I'm going to put Zampa in there for now. No plans of really fielding him. Is there anything else I can do with loopholes? Let's go back to the team. So might as well put McDermott there because I know I'm going to want him. I know that Bancroft isn't going to come on field in any scenario. So I guess I think this is as good as it'll get. I mean, it's fairly straightforward. So just recapping the trades, getting rid of Richardson with the hamstring issue and turning him into short. Jilks to McDermott, that's pretty free trade. And then the last one's a bit more of a luxury. And I could have kept Hadsoglu. I think Zampa for 20k more should outperform him next week when I need him for the double. And so that'll leave me with 8 doubles for this week. And then looking at next week, I've already got Bancroft, Inglis, Clark, Stoinis, Zampa, and Ty. And so that's 6 doubles already. I'm going to be using my last boost next round and getting in 4 players from either the Strikers, Stars, or Scorchers. And so that means with Sydney having the bye, it'll probably be the majority of those players going out. So Hayden Kerr, Sean Abbott, maybe Philippi, probably Vince. So probably Kerr, Vince, Abbott, and maybe one of the Hurricanes players like Meredith or Alice. So that's the way I'm going to be lined up going into this week. Things might change, obviously, but I hope you've enjoyed the video and hope that we can all score a bit better than last week. Thanks for watching.